Hello, welcome to HITC Sport, right? Hello, welcome to HITC Sport, right? This is a controversial video. I can already feel it in my bones. I'm gonna take a look at every Champions League season going back 15 years and find what club could have and possibly would have won the thing if they had a different manager in charge. Oh yeah, and I'm only picking each manager just the once. Otherwise, I'd just be picking Jurgen Klopp for every bastard year. 04-05 Juventus, Jose Mourinho. Yes, the season of Istanbul, where somehow a Liverpool team littered with Igor Bishka and Jimmy Traore and a broken Harry Kewell somehow got their hands on the European Cup. Listen, yes, that star-studded AC Milan team will be a threat to anybody. But clearly they showed in the final and the previous year when they chucked away a 4-1 lead against Deportivo La Coruña that they had the combined mental strength of an empty bottle of shampoo. Juventus though, yes, this was the year they were Serie A cheats and eventually got relegated to Serie B. But look at their squad though. Give a prime Jose Mourinho a defence consisting of Fabio Cannavaro, Lilian Thuram, Gianluca Zabrata, all three World Cup winners. Chuck in Mauro Camoranesi, Pavel Nedved and Emerson in midfield. Up front, David Trezeguet, Alessandro Del Piero and his Swedish love child Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Sure, Fabio Capello was already a top-class manager and they were still dumped out in the quarters by Liverpool. But pair a prime Jose with a 23-year-old Zlatan and yeah, they're winning this thing. 05-06 Real Madrid, Vicente del Bosque. The fact the Galacticos of Real Madrid ended the 05-06 season trophy-less, it didn't make sense. Iker Casillas, Roberto Carlos, Sergio Ramos, Zinedine Zidane, Ronaldo, Raul, Robinho, David Beckham, not to mention Santiago Muniz. You couldn't move for world-class talent in that squad. Maybe if the president had decided, bring in a half-decent coach, instead of giving the job to Vanderlei Luxemburgo, maybe they might have actually won something. Lads, they finished 12 points behind Barcelona, lost the Copa del Rey semi-final 6-1 to Real Zaragoza, and exited the Champions League last 16 to a stale Arsenal team. For Christ's sake, West Ham were able to beat Arsenal twice that season. The Gunners were getting spiked by Middlesbrough, West Brom, Bolton Wanderers, and that collection of superstars couldn't even manage one goal over 2 legs against Gael Clichy. All they needed was a top-class coach, like Vicente del Bosque, who was sacked after winning 2 Champions Leagues with the club. Was he past it? No, because he'd soon be lifting the World Cup in Euro 2012 with Spain. 06-07 Barcelona, Marcelo Bielsa. Lads, Barcelona under Frank Rijkaard during the 06-07 season were a bit of a mess. Second in the league, Copa del Rey semi-finalists, runners-up in both the UEFA Super Cup and Club World Cup. Oh yeah, and dumped out of the Champions League last 16 by a Liverpool team with Craig Bellamy and Dwayne Pennant shoved on the wings. This team were reigning European champions, with Andres Iniesta, Xavi and Deco in the field, a forward line of Lionel Messi, Samuel Eto'o and Ronaldinho. This was inexcusable, but give them Marcelo Bielsa, who at the time was unemployed in between international jobs. Give them Bielsa, a man who inspired Guardiola, and you're damn right he and Barcelona would have won this competition. No questions asked. 07-08 Leon Carlo Ancelotti. Yeah, this is a call. But lads, don't underestimate the talent stuck in Leon's underrated team during the mid-2000s. Yes, they hoovered up 7 league titles in a row, demolished nearly every domestic trophy in sight, but lads, they underachieved in Europe. Their coach in 2008 was Alan Perrin, a guy recently sacked by Portsmouth. Give them a proven, experienced European champion like Carlo Ancelotti. Lads, they had French #1 Gregory Coupé in nets, a solid-ish defence consisting of World Cup winning Fabio Grosso at left back, Brazilian maestro Juninho in midfield, a guy who could probably score free kicks from his own bed, and emerging Kim Kallstrom, the defensive linchpin Jeremy Toulalan, a 21-year-old Hatem Ben Arfa on the wing, and a hungry and young Karim Benzema up front, arguably the most sought-after striker in Europe. Just as long as Ancelotti stuffed John Along Boomsong in the biggest dustbin he could find, they would have a chance. I know Man United's 07-08 squad was almost impossible to compete with, lads, but they only won the tournament on penalties. They were dumped out of the FA Cup at home to Portsmouth. They were beatable, and this wildly talented Leon squad under Ancelotti, they'd have a damn good chance. 08-09 Atletico Madrid, Rafa Benitez. Lads, Atletico Madrid squad during the 08-09 season, the fact they weren't able to pair it with a world-class or even top-class coach, it was borderline negligence. If you've got a forward line of Diego Forlan and Sergio Aguero, arguably one of the most lethal partnerships in Europe, if you've got Maxi Rodriguez, Ever Banega, Manish and Samao in midfield, again Coupé in nets, give them a better manager than Javier Aguirre, a Mexican coach plucked out of Osasuna. This impossibly talented squad were shamefully dumped out of the last 16 against Porto, but lads, give them Rafa Benitez. Let's just say he's won this competition with worse teams. This guy has gotten the best out of Atletico Madrid superstar strikers in the past. Give him Aguero and the solid spine he craves, they'd have a chance. And you might say, oh, nobody's going to be able to compete with Pep's Barcelona. Atletico did beat Barca 4-3 in the league that season. So, You never know. 09-10 AC Milan, Diego Simeone. I'm sorry, but Leonardo did not get the best out of AC Milan during the 09-10 season. Third in the league and dumped out of the Champions League last 16 by Man United. Sure, it was a slightly aging team. Sure, he might have wanted to chuck an aging Ronaldinho in a bin, but Alexander Pato, David Beckham, Klaus-Jan Huntelaar, there was enough there to put up a decent fight against Jose Mourinho's Inter Milan. Wasn't there? 10-11 Arsenal, Sir Alex Ferguson. Okay, I don't want to disrespect Arsene Wenger too much, but we could see by 2010 this man was past his best. He, just stopped winning trophies. Even beating Birmingham in a cup final seemed a bridge too far for this guy. And it's a shame because there was talent rippling through that squad. Laurent Koscielny, Cesc Fabregas, Jack Wilshere, Samir Nasri, and informed Theo Walcott, and crucially of all, the absolute goal machine Robin van Persie. I'd argue this squad was more talented than Fergie's title-winning Man United squad in 2013. I mean, what use would Arsenal have had for Tom cleverly? Again, this was the year where Barcelona beat Fergie's men at Wembley, but gave this Arsenal squad a born winner who wasn't past his best. I think they'd have had a very good chance. Sure, if it wasn't for that mindless Van Persie red card, they might have even knocked him out of the last 16. And look what Fergie did with RVP at Old Trafford, good Christ. 11-12 Napoli, Antonio Conte. Okay lads, 2012 was the year Chelsea finished 6th in the league and still won a Champions League final with Ryan Bertrand on the left wing and with Roberto Di Matteo as manager. Clearly weird things were happening that year. Napoli under Walter Mazzarri, a guy who would end up stuffing his career down a well at Watford, they finished 5th in the league and somehow chucked away a 3-1 first leg lead against Chelsea. The attacking talent in the squad though. Edinson Cavani was scoring 30 goals a season. Goran Pandev, Marek Hamšík pulling strings in midfield. In this weak Champions League year, where a bang average Chelsea got their hands on the prize, yeah, why not Napoli under Antonio Conte instead? He'd have turned Cavani into another Diego Costa. 12-13 Barcelona, Pep Guardiola. Yeah, the year of the all-German final, where people were now holding up the Bundesliga as Europe's biggest and best league. It wasn't really. Yeah, I'm returning to Barcelona here and step forward Pep Guardiola. I mean, this is pretty obvious. This was his sabbatical year. Tito Villanova was in charge, God rest his soul, and he did well, but would Pep really have seen Messi and co lose a semi-final 7-0 in aggregate? I'm sure Pep would have had enough to win another European crown. 13-14 PSG, Didier Deschamps. Okay, I'm sure most of you think not many teams are going to be able to deprive Real Madrid of La Decima in 2014. Is it though? Because the last time I checked, they were 30 seconds away from bottling the Champions League final against Atletico Madrid. Let's not pretend they were some sort of unbeatable god, alright? They also finished 3rd in the league and lost to Celta Vigo. PSG under Laurent Blanc were again underperforming in Europe, but give them a solid coach who can grind out results out of superstars, who has a pedigree in Europe, having taken Monaco to the final. Give Didier Deschamps the likes of Cavani and Zlatan up front, Blaise Matuidi in midfield, attacking outlets Ezekiel Lavezzi, Javier Pastore, Lucas Moura and Kingsley Coman, and on the defensive side of things, Luca Dina, Thiago Motta, Gregory Van der Wiel, Thiago Silva, Marco Verratti. I'm sorry, but just like he did with France at the World Cup, give Deschamps this amount of superstars and he's getting them a European crown. 14-15 Man City, Massimiliano Allegri. Yeah, this is the year Barcelona's Neymar, Messi, Suarez frontline blew Europe out of the water. So I'm not going to sit here and pretend that the competition wasn't tough, but lads, that City squad, who were feebly dumped out of the last 16 by Barcelona, they had enough about them to put up a better challenge. Look at their collection of world-class superstars. The fact they won only 2 out of 8 European games that season, it was pathetic. Take this squad from an aging Manuel Pellegrini, whose hunger was rapidly declining, and give it to Max Allegri in his prime. Yeah, why not beat Barcelona to win the thing? 15-16 Chelsea, Jurgen Klopp. Okay, Chelsea during the 15-16 season were a complete and utter mess. It was the year the players turned on Jose, finished halfway down the league, and were dumped out of Europe by PSG, Europe's biggest bottle jobs. Whereas the previous season, this was one of the best teams in Europe, and their squad was levels above their Champions League winning team in 2012. Give Jurgen Klopp the chance to manage this squad. Give him Thibaut Courtois in goals, a backline of Gary Cahill, Cesar Azpilicueta and John Terry, Cesc Fabregas pulling strings in midfield, a frontline of Eden Hazard, Diego Costa and Pedro. He'd have got them on side, and they would have torn Europe to pieces. Don't underestimate just how strong this Chelsea squad was. 16-17 Borussia Dortmund, Unai Emery. Okay, Arsenal fans probably think I'm brain dead right about now. In a year where Real Madrid and Juventus both competed in the Champions League final, I am somehow tipping Unai Emery to win it with Borussia Dortmund? Lads, hear me out. No, this man is not an elite manager, but he's not too bad in European competition. Are we forgetting he won 3 Europa Leagues with Sevilla? Even with Arsenal, he got them to a final. We've already seen he knows how to get the best out of Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang and Socrates Papastopoulos. And Dortmund also had the attacking flair of Ousmane Dembele, Christian Pulisic and Marco Reus. Under Thomas Tuchel, they'd already stuck 14 goals past Legia Warsaw, 4 past Real Madrid and 4 against Benfica. Their firepower was out of this world. I'm not saying they'd have 100% won it for definite under Emery, but I think his European experience, his know-how how to navigate his way through these competitions, it would have probably squeezed them past Monaco in the quarterfinals and then Who knows? 17-18 Bayern Munich, Joachim Löw. Okay, things might have gotten a bit stale with the German national team, but of course he's been in charge for 14 bastard years. There's no doubting he's a world-class coach and World Cup winner. And Bayern Munich during the 17-18 season just wasted their star-studded team by booting Carlo Ancelotti out the door in September. Give them Löw, a man who commands the utmost respect in Germany, a world champion who must have an aura about him. Yeah, he'd probably have got past Real Madrid in the semi-finals and beaten that Liverpool team that were weighed down by Loris Karius in the final. 18-19 PSG, Zinedine Zidane. Yeah, remember when PSG bottled a 2-0 first leg league against Man United? Thomas Tuchel is a decent coach. Is he elite though? Is he good enough to be entrusted with £500 million worth of attacking talent? No, never mind Klopp's Liverpool. Any team with both Kylian Mbappe and Neymar up front, they should be contesting Champions League finals each and every year. Zidane is a man with 3 Champions Leagues to his name as a manager. He won it twice as a player. He knows what it takes to win this bastard thing. Give Neymar, and in particular Kylian Mbappe, to this absolute French and world idol, coaching a club in a country where he's a national god. They know there'd be no more bottling it. I'm pretty sure give him this level of firepower, they'd have too much for the rest of Europe. Anyway, that's it, guys. Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and as always, I'll talk to you in a while.